Hey, well, good morning, everyone. We welcome you to Digital Yoga Church this morning with Karen Hughes and I. We're grateful to be able to be with you this morning and to offer this practice. Karen is a fresh expression pioneer and also the most amazing yoga instructor ever, who also loves God and does just incredible ministry and things all over the place. So this is a really special time to be together. I don't know about you, but it's been kind of stressful these days. And my wife and I, we're quarantined with three of our younger children, learning how to homeschool, trying to navigate how do you do ministry from home, and how do we still meet the needs of people in our community. And so it's been kind of a stressful time, and just learning to live into this new normal. So what an amazing thing that we can just kind of gather and do this yoga practice together. Um, and For me, yoga is a calming, centering kind of a practice. And today we're going to do that through worshiping Jesus and worshiping, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit together. So we will welcome you to just any comments you have as we go through the practice. You can post those either on our Facebook stream or on our YouTube stream. We will welcome that. Karen will take over soon, but as we go through the practice, you can still continue to communicate with us. And please, if you're joining us this morning, I see folks joining from all over the country, which is cool because normally, when Karen and I do this, we're just confined to folks in the villages and Wildwood. So welcome to all of you that are joining from everywhere, all over the place. But if you would start a watch party, it's kind of like a digital attendance pad. So if you're with us this morning, if you look at the bottom, those who are on Facebook, if you look at the bottom, you'll see there, start a watch party. And you could actually share this with your friends so that they can join into the yoga practice too. We call it kind of a digital attendance pad, like you would sign an attendance pad if you went to a place. So please feel free to comment. I'm just going to open us with a brief devotional, and then I'm going to get out of the way so that Karen can lead us. And the passage that I wanted to bring forward was the 46th Psalm. And I just really want to read it to you and then give a couple words of reflection. The 46th Psalm says, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear, though the earth should change, though the mountains shake in the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, through the mountains tremble with its tumult. There is a river who makes glad the stream of God, the holy habitation of the Most High. God is in the midst of this city. It shall not be moved. God will help it when the morning dawns. The nations are in an uproar and the kingdoms totter. He utters his voice, the earth melts. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Salah. Come, behold the works of the Lord. See what desolation he has brought on the earth. He makes war cease to the end of the earth. He breaks the bow and shatters the spear, and he burns the shields with fire. Be still and know that I am God. I am exalted among the nations. I'm exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. This passage, as I was kind of reflecting on, I was just thinking, it seems pretty chaotic right now. I've been talking to some of our 90 and 80 and 100-year-old members, and they're saying, we've never experienced anything like this in our life. And these are people who've gone through World War II and the Great Depression, and they're saying nothing like this pandemic. It is unprecedented, and it is scary. And it seems like things are just shaking loose, and there's chaos everywhere. And this repeated word in this psalm, the word Salah, which means to pause and to calmly think of that. So rest, pause, breathe for a minute. Salah, and it's a Hebrew word that gives us this intentional focus of pause. And one of the things that has happened in quarantine is I've seen a lot of reset buttons happening. So God's hit the reset button on creation. The Bible talks about, let the land rest in a year of Jubilee and Sabbath. We're not supposed to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're supposed to rest. We're supposed to let the land rest. We're supposed to have seasons actually where we let the land and the earth that God created rest. We're supposed to rest. And this is something that I have struggled with my whole life in ministry. And so we've hit the reset button on our family. We've got more time together at the table. We've hit the reset button on how we be the church, where we don't have all those things that we used to utilize. And so in the Salah, in the pause, while it's hard and there's so much negative, and I cry for people that are, sick and all the loss and all of that. I'm not minimizing that. But how can we look for these positives in the midst of it? How can we be attuned to God's presence as we pause and reflect and realize that He is with us in the midst of all this? So I hope that this is something that maybe you take a look at today. Look at the 46th Psalm. And I see the practice of yoga and how Karen just does such a wonderful job leading it as a time to pause and salah and reflect. And people have the struggle. I've had people kind of critique us and say, well, yoga is like an Eastern practice or whatever. Well, actually, it's very, very Judeo-Christian because there's a lot in the Bible about worship God with your temple, your Holy Spirit, your body. Worship God with all your physicality, with, mind, body, and soul, the whole fully orbited part that it means to be a human being. So there's a lot of scriptural precedent for what we're about to do, to take these temples of the Holy Spirit, our bodies fearfully, wonderfully made in the image of God, and to stretch them. And I just think while I'm doing it, it's an act of worship to God. As Karen leads me through the different postures, that I see it as, bringing God my worship. So that's my way too long devotional, because I know that most of you come to be with Karen this morning. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of the way. And Karen, will you lead us? Thank you.
Yes. Good morning. I like to start my practice with an awareness of your mind, your body, and your spirit before we begin. It's very important that you listen to your body and not do anything that may hurt or doesn't feel right. Because remember, this is really your practice. And because we're all built differently, we all move differently. So it's important to listen to your body and not do anything that might not feel right for your body. This is supposed to feel good for your body. So let us start with the heart of yoga, with breath. Let us close our eyes and just breathe, becoming aware of our breath. Clearing your mind of all the clutter and the anxiety. And as Michael said, let us just pause as we become aware of our breath, inhaling in through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Relaxing your breath, relaxing your body, relaxing your thoughts, and just breathing. Let go of all negativity. And just breathe. And with your eyes closed, we're going to move into a different breath pattern. Inhaling as deep as you can in through the nose, feeling the air go all the way down deep into your tummy. And then exhaling all the old air out of your mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Deep inhale in through the nose and out through the mouth. A few more breaths, purifying breaths, letting go of the old, inviting in the new, inviting in new energy, positivity. As we pause our life to take time for ourselves to renew our mind, our body, and our spirit. And let us return to normal breath in through the nose and out through the nose as we open our eyes, and let our breath guide us through our movements as we go through our practice today. Let us sit nice and tall. Take your arms out long with your palms up. Inhale to float the hands up. Exhale, hands over, heart center, and namaste. Namaste means good day. Inhale to reach the hands up. And exhale, reach the hands out long. Remember to move at your own pace with your breath. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, maybe gazing up, reaching out long. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, maybe nodding your chin. And one more big stretch. Inhale. Exhale, reach your arms out long. As we go into some side stretches, flip your left palm up, take it up and over. Inhale. And exhale, alternating side to side. One more big side stretch. Inhale. And exhale, just rest your hands by your side as we go into some shoulder shrugs with breath. Inhale up with the shoulders. And exhale, push the shoulders down away from the ears. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And this time, as you bring your shoulders up towards your ears, roll them slowly around to the back. Nice big, slow shoulder rolls around to the back, releasing any tension in your upper back. Inhale, and on the exhale, let's just leave our shoulders down as we grow tall through the crown of the head. As we go into some neck stretches, keeping our spine long, drop your chin to your chest and close your eyes. And breathe. And with your chin on your chest, let's let the spine go. Just let it round. Let the shoulders round forward as the red rib cage caves in. Rounding your spine, opening up the space between each vertebra. And breathe. Let your head be heavy here. Inhale, and on the exhale, slowly roll your chin towards your left shoulder. And when you get there, sit as tall as you can as we go into half neck circles in slow motion. Inhale to drop the chin to the chest, rounding the spine. Exhale, coming up to the other shoulder and growing tall through the spine. Inhale, dropping the chin to the chest, rounding the spine. Exhale, come up to your other shoulder, grow tall. And one more slow half neck circle, inhaling. And exhaling again, sitting tall, bringing your gaze back to the center. Dropping your shoulders down away from your ears. Let's let our left earlobe fall towards our left shoulder with a heavy head. And breathe. On the next breath, let's lift our head back up, sitting tall again. And let's look over that right shoulder with breath in slow motion. Inhale to look over the shoulder. And exhale to come back to the center, growing tall again. As you drop your right earlobe towards your right shoulder with a heavy head and a tall spine. And breathe. And on the next breath, slowly lift your head back to the center as we look over our left shoulder with breath. Inhale to look over the shoulder. And exhale to come back to the center. Let's go into staff pose. I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see better. Go ahead and bring your legs out in front. Use your fingertips under your armpits to grow just a little bit taller. And ground your legs by flexing your feet. And you're in staff pose. But if you want more, go ahead and float your arms all the way up to the ceiling, reaching for the ceiling. And on the next breath, hinge forward 2 or 3 inches as you continue to reach with long arms. And breathe 3 breaths here. And as long as you don't have any lower back issues or spine issues, begin to forward fold, holding your pose for 3 breaths. Let your nose float towards your knees. Bend your knees a little if you need to. Listen to your body. And on the next breath, slowly begin to roll back to tall spine, stacking your spine. One vertebra stacks on top of the other, back into tall spine. Let's go in and pull our left knee in towards us, and then take your left foot over your right knee, only to get as tall as you can as we prepare for spinal rotation. We're going to take our left arm around to the back of our mat, lift your eyes. Lift your heart. Maybe you'll wrap that right elbow around that left knee to grow tall and rotate with breath. So spinal rotation isn't only about the movement and the stretch. It's about the breath. Inhale as deep as you can, feeling the lung and the ribs expand. And then exhale. On the next breath, come all the way back around, only to rotate around to the other side with breath. Inhale and exhale. And then slowly coming back to the center. Go on and straighten out that left leg on top of the right for a crossed leg staff pose. Again, use your fingertips to sit tall. Float your arms out in front of your shoulders. We're just going to add a little twist for those that are beginners. This helps. Cross your arms, flip your hands, drop your hands, tuck your chin, look at your belly, and begin to slowly slide your hands towards your ankles. Maybe just an inch, maybe all the way down. We're all built differently. And breathe. 3 breaths here. And on the next breath, slowly round the spine back up to tall spine, stacking one vertebra on top of the other. As we uncross our legs and we pull our right knee into our chest, this is just to get tall as we prepare for spinal rotation to the right. You could wrap your left arm around that knee to get taller as you slowly rotate around, lifting your eyes, lifting your heart, and breathing so deep that you feel the lung and the rib cage expand. On the next breath, come around to the center, and maybe you cross your foot. You know, that's optional. We did that on the other side. As you rotate around to your left. Inhale and exhale, keeping your heart lifted, keeping your gaze lifted as you breathe deep. On the next breath, let's come back around to the center as we straighten out the right leg on top of the left, grounding our legs by flexing our feet, sitting tall, and going into crossed leg staff pose here. Floating your arms out long in front of your shoulders, sitting tall, crossing your arms, flipping your hands, dropping them. Tuck your chin onto your chest and look at your belly, and slowly slide your hands towards your ankles for a crossed leg staff pose. And breathe 3 breaths here. And on the next breath, slowly begin to round back up to tall spine, sitting as tall as you can as you bring the soles of the feet together. If you have lower back issues, your feet would be away. If you want to get a little closer for a little more, maybe you just kind of rock forward towards your heels. Hold on to your lower legs or ankles as you sit as tall as you can. Hinge forward. Let your elbows float over your inner knees. Gently press them down. And if you want more, tuck your chin and let your nose fall towards your feet. Relax your shoulders and breathe. Inhale, and on the exhale, slowly round the spine back up to tall spine. As we bring our knees together, we're going to transition to our hands and knees, bringing our knees to the back and our hands to the front of your mat. Let's check our position and alignment. Be sure it's correct to be safe. Be sure your wrists are under your shoulders. Your hands, your knees, and your feet are all in alignment. We're going to move into cat pose. So tuck your chin and round your spine. Tuck your pelvis. If you were a dog, you'd be tucking your tail. And round your spine, stretching it, creating space between each vertebra. And then as we move into cow pose, we slowly soften the elbows, wrists, and shoulders as you drop your belly towards the earth and lift your gaze. Inhale, filling the lungs up with air. Exhale into cat. Inhale into cow. Exhale. And in. Exhale. Inhale. And now we're just going to hold that cat pose as we go into some big, big hip circles, letting your hips swing out to the side, over your heels, and back up to the center. And then switch directions. Slower is better here. Inhaling and exhaling with each hip circle. And two more. And one more. Inhale. And exhale, and now we're going to drop into a child's pose, extended, bringing your buttocks to your heels, stretching your arms out in front of your shoulders and dropping your forehead and elbows to the mat. Breathe 3 breaths here. And know that child's pose is a place you can come at any time. If there's a pose that doesn't work for your body or something you're just not up to today, just come into your child's pose and breathe. Inhale and exhale, we're going to come up onto our hands and knees and move into some vinyasas. Tuck your toes under, we're moving into downward dog. So as you look at your knees, lift them up. Lift your sits bones up to the ceiling as high as you can as you stretch. Your heels are up. You're transitioning your weight through your whole body here. That's very important that you don't have all your weight on your upper body. Next, we're going to drop our left heel down as you bend your right knee. And then drop your right heel down as you bend your left knee. And then maybe we move a little faster. Left, right, left, right. Inhale, exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. From downward dog, we're going to move into plank. So lift your heels up as high as you can so that you can drop your shoulders over your wrist. Alignment is very important here. Now, if that feels challenging, you can always drop your knees or not. It's totally up to you. Hold your plank as you pull your belly into your spine for 3 breaths. And then we're going to slowly lower our body down. Chest and everything, fingertips aligned with the shoulders, uncurl the toes as we move into cobra, but beware your lower disc will compress. So maybe your cobra is just a little inch lift. Maybe it's a baby cobra, or maybe you go into full cobra. Let it feel good for your body. Inhale down and exhale into your cobra. Inhale. And exhale. On the next one, we're going to move right back into our child's pose for one breath. So we're going to flow through our vinyasas with a flow style yoga. Coming back into downward dog, tucking the toes under, lifting the sits bones high, left heel comes down, right, left, right. Both heels pressing down, sits bones up. Lifting the heels up high so you can drop your shoulders over your wrist for your plank. Maybe you drop your knees. It's okay. Remember, this is your practice. Now you can come back to Cobra or you can join me for Chaturanga. On Chaturanga, we squeeze our elbows in and slowly lower yourself. You're holding your body up with your elbows. This is Chaturanga. Breathe. And when you can't hold your Chaturanga any longer, like I can't, you're just going to drop down and go into your Cobra. And breathe. 3 breaths here. Relax the shoulders. And now we move into our third vinyasa. Bringing your buttocks back towards your heels into child's pose. Inhaling and exhaling. And coming back into downward dog. Pressing the left heel down, right, left, right. Both heels pressing down, sits bones up. Lifting the heels, dropping into your plank. Again, you can go back into your Cobra. This is your practice. Maybe you prefer Chaturanga. I'm going to show you up dog. In up dog, we uncurl our toes, float our hips towards the mat as you lift your gaze, lift your heart, and breathe. Up dog. 3 breaths here. And then dropping the knees down into child's pose. Once again, let's hold our child's pose for 3 breaths here. And on the next breath, let's move to our hands and knees into downward dog. You can either step forward or jump forward into a yoga squat. Or maybe you just step into a standing forward fold. So yoga squat, as we press our heels towards the earth, open up the knees, hands are over the heart. Let's close our eyes and pause here for 3 breaths. This particular yoga pose is good for anxiety, and it is to help calm your body, your mind, and your spirit. And maybe you're already in a standing forward fold. If you're in your yoga squat, just drop your hands, swing your heels out as you tuck your chin, slowly come into a standing forward fold. Bringing your feet a little closer, letting your nose float towards your knees, hanging down like a rag doll. And breathe 3 breaths here. And then slowly roll up to standing, 1 vertebra at a time. As we move into some shoulder rolls with breath. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Let's move into mountain pose. So palms are forward, and mountain pose, we're connecting to the earth. So maybe you close your eyes so that your brain can remember that connection. Pressing all 4 corners of the soles of the feet into the mat as you breathe. Again, here we can pause, we can meditate, we can worship. We can become grounded like a mountain, strong and sturdy. Inhale, and on the exhale, if your eyes are closed, open them up. Float your hands up, inhale. Exhale, hands over, heart center as we move into tree pose. I'll do it in a progressive style, so stay where you need to. First, lifting up the left heel, letting it sit against the left inside ankle. If you're on a mat, sometimes it makes it more difficult. You can step onto a hard surface to help. Or maybe you want to create that unlevelness, the way it really is in Earth. Nothing is that flat. If you want more, maybe you float your foot up a little. Maybe you become a tall tree with lots of branches. Remember, this is your tree. Hold your tree for 3 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. Drop your hands. We're going to go into camel pose, standing, before we go to tree on the other side. Slide your hands behind your lower back. Let your elbows move towards each other. Press your hips forward. Beware of your lower back. It's contraindicated to roll your head back if you're over 55. Sometimes I like to pretend that I'm under 55 and I go on and roll my head back. But this is your practice, camel pose. Slowly coming back into mountain pose. Inhale to float the hands up. Exhale, hands over heart center. Let's move into tree pose on the other side. Lifting up your heel, maybe letting it sit against your inside ankle. You can keep your big toe down or the ball of your foot. You can even hold on to something. Maybe you float your foot up a little or not. Maybe you want to stay here. Maybe you want to become a tall tree. Maybe you like the branches. And breathe. Inhale, exhale, drop your hands. Shoulder rolls back. Inhale and exhale. Let's separate our feet into a standing straddle split. Float your arms out long. We're going to go into a good morning pose. So go on and hinge halfway down. Don't let your nose go lower than your hips. And breathe. And you can stay here, enjoy this nice pose, stretch, or join me for a progression. Revolving triangle, dropping your fingers under your chest or maybe your whole hand. As you float the opposite hand up along with your gaze. Inhale and exhale. And on the next breath, come back into that good morning pose and breathe. As we switch to the other side, dropping your other hand or maybe just your fingers. As you float your opposite hand and gaze upward towards the ceiling. And then back into your good morning pose, only to hinge up, float the hands up and back over heart center. Let's take our heels in, toes, heels, toes, bringing our feet back together. As we move into our warrior series, you can come to the front of your mat, and we're going to step back with our left foot. Not a little, but a lot. So as far back as you can, the longer the leg, the easier it is to stabilize. Bring your arms up to the ceiling and reach crescent lunge. And then to move into warrior one, we just turn our back foot out to the side. So today we're not going to hold our poses too long. We just want to get moving and understand the different poses of yoga and use them to help us just pause. Float your arms out, bringing your right arm forward and your left arm back. Warrior two. And breathe. And peaceful warrior, drop your back hand to your back leg. Flip your front palm up and begin to slowly float your hand up towards the ceiling. Or maybe you want more, you continue to float up and towards the back wall. Peaceful warrior. And then we come back into warrior two to reset. As we move into side angle, you're going to drop your front elbow to your front thigh. Float your back hand up to the ceiling. Gaze down to your big toe. But if you want more, maybe you go into extended side angle, sliding your hand down. Maybe you even look up and breathe. And then slowly come back into your warrior two. Reaching with your arms, resetting. Shoulders over the hips, wrist over the ankles. And then triangle. Go on and straighten out that front knee. Hinge your body forward. Drop your front hand to your thigh or your shin. Gazing down to your big toe. Or maybe you reach your hand up and let your gaze come up. And breathe here. And then slowly come back into warrior two. And then we're going to take that back arm out forward in front of that shoulder, only to reach back up into warrior one. And then slowly you're going to lift that back heel, turn your foot to your back into crescent lunge. And we can go right into deep runner's lunge here. Just hinge forward, straddling your front foot. Your back leg is long. And breathe. We're going to drop that back knee and uncurl those back toes into a kneeling crescent lunge as you begin to press your hips forward, floating your hands back up to the ceiling. Maybe you stay here. If you want more, you can add the twist. Drop your left hand down to the inner ankle as you twist to your right. And then going to bring both hands to the inside of that front ankle for a little more of a stretch. Now, if you want more, you can drop your elbows down or not. If your elbows are down, go on and straighten them. Straddle your front foot. Tuck your toes behind you under. Lift your back knee. And as you bring your back foot forward, lift your hips and come into a standing forward fold. And then slowly begin to roll back up. Floating the arms back up with your gaze up to the ceiling and hands over heart center. As we move into our warriors on the other side, taking your other foot back. Nice long leg, maybe bending your front knee. Float your hands up, crescent lunge. And warrior one, going to turn your back foot out. And warrior two, bring your left arm forward, over your left knee, and breathe. And then peaceful warrior. Drop your back hand to your back leg, flip your front palm up, and begin to reach up towards the ceiling. Or maybe you want more, you can continue to reach upward to the back wall. Coming back into warrior two to reset. As we move into side angle, you're going to drop either your hand or your elbow to that front thigh. Gaze down to your right big toe, or left big toe. Float your hand up. If you want more, you can slide your hand all the way down to your ankle or the mat. You still want more, maybe you gaze up to your top hand. And then coming back into warrior two to reset. As we move into triangle, you're going to straighten out that front knee. Hinge your body forward, dropping your hand either to your thigh or your shin. Floating your back hand up. Triangle pose. If you want more, maybe you try to gaze up to the ceiling. And come back into your warrior two. Take your back arm forward, reach up into warrior one. And carefully and slowly lift your back heel into crescent lunge. Hinge forward, straddling your front foot into deep runner's lunge. Make sure that ankle is under that knee. And then dropping your back knee down, uncurling your back toes, kneeling crescent lunge. And maybe you stay here, or maybe you add the twist. And then bringing both hands to the inside of that front ankle. Maybe you stay here, maybe you drop down to your elbows or not. Always seems one side so much harder than the other. Just make sure it feels good for you. Now we're going to go on and straddle that front foot, but this time we're just going to lift our hips and take our front foot back. We're going to go into traditional child's pose where our toes are touching, big toes, knees come apart, and your hands come back by your ankles while you drop your forehead to your mat. Let's breathe 3 breaths here in child's pose. And then slowly come back to hands and knees. Separate your knees, separate your feet. We're going to move into pigeon pose. You're going to slide your left knee under your chest and your right foot as far back as you can. So you can stay here. But if you want more, you can lift your hip, wiggle that left foot towards the right side of your mat as you push your back foot farther back. You can stay with your heart lifted, or you can drop down. Maybe you even make a pillow with your fist for your forehead. And breathe 3 breaths here. On the next breath, let's lift our head, come back to hands and knees. As you slide your right knee under your chest and your left foot as far back as you can. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you lift your hips and wiggle the foot from underneath your body to the other side of the mat. The longer you can make that back leg, the easier the stretch is and the more it feels good. Now you can stay up with your heart lifted, or maybe you drop down and breathe. So as you breathe, if you feel any tightness or any pain, good pain, not bad pain, you can actually use your breath. Breathe your air deep into that area of tightness or pain, and with each breath, exhale just a little bit away. Breath is so important. We can use it for many reasons to help us to meditate, to focus, just to pause, and to heal. So use your breath today. On the next breath, let's lift our head, straighten our arms if they're not already straight. As we bring that back leg, back foot forward, back out in front, sitting on our buttocks with our feet out in front. I'm going to use my hands behind my knees to sit tall and breathe. And then as you hold on to your legs, let's roll past our tailbone. Once again, stretching the spine, rounding it, scooping the belly, pulling the belly into the spine. We're moving into boat pose, Navasana. Drop your shoulders, lift your chin, lift your chest. I'll break it down. Maybe you're just a one-legged boat today, maybe 2. Maybe you bring your hands down for balance, or maybe you float them up for more. Breathe in your boat pose for 3 breaths. Lift your heart if you can as you inhale. On the next breath, drop your feet, hands behind the knees, grow tall once again. We're now going to move into a supine position for our final Savasana stretches. So let's do it by rolling past our tailbone once again. But this time, just lift your feet and slowly roll down 1 vertebra at a time, taking your knees into your chest, dropping the back of your head to your mat. If you need support, grab a pillow or a towel or a rolled up mat. Bear hug your knees. Pull them into your chest and relax. Close your eyes and gently rock your knees side to side. gentle rocking. And then let's begin to do some ankle circles in slow motion. Relaxing your feet, relaxing your legs. And then we're going to pull our knees up towards our chest. We're going to circle our knees away from each other, down and back together. So very slow, big knee circles. As big and slow as you can. And switch directions. Just loosening up the hip joints, relaxing the lower back. And then go on and pull your knees towards your armpits. Left knee to the left armpit, right knee to the right armpit. This is a modified happy baby. It just feels good. It feels good to be childlike. And then if you want more, you can lift your toes up over your knees and grab hold of your toes, or maybe you just grab your ankles. Try to press your tailbone in towards your mat. And breathe in happy baby. And then slowly bring your feet and your knees together as we lift our legs up the wall. Let your hands come down to your mat, or maybe you support your legs. Legs up the wall is all about letting your legs be weightless. Let your body be grounded. Close your eyes and breathe. On the next breath, we're going to float the soles of our feet down, keeping our knees bent. Slide your arms out into a T. Separate your feet about shoulder width apart. And let both knees fall towards the floor on the left as you gaze to the right. Let your top knee be heavier than your bottom knee. And breathe 3 breaths here. Slowly float your knees and your gaze back to the center. As you let your knees fall towards the floor in the opposite direction, gazing in the opposite direction. Again, let your top knee be heavier than your bottom knee, and breathe. Slowly float your knees and your gaze back to the center, sliding your hands back onto your mat. As we do a pelvic tilt, you'll press your lower back into the mat as you tilt your pelvis up, pulling your belly into your spine. Inhale. And on the exhale, release. Let's try that again. Inhale, tilting your pelvis up. And if you wish to join me in bridge, slowly peel your spine up with an inhale. And on the exhale, slowly peel your spine down, 1 vertebra at a time. Release the pelvis. Inhale to tilt up and slowly peel up into bridge. And exhale to slowly peel down. And this time, if you wish to keep your bridge up for a few breaths, just lift a little higher. Maybe interlock your fingers under your hips, letting your arms and your thighs be long. And breathe and bridge pose. On the next breath, release if you're in bridge pose. rolling your spine down, peeling it down one vertebra at a time. As we take the soles of the feet together and move into supine butterfly, let your knees fall away from each other. Press the soles of your feet together softly with an inhale. And on your exhale, relax. Relax here in supine butterfly and breathe. Close your eyes. Savasana, total relaxation. Float your arms out to a T with your palms up. As we move into our final Savasana, you can stay in supine butterfly, or maybe you straighten your legs. Bring in your left heel to the left corner of your mat and the right heel to the right corner. Close your eyes, melt into your mat, and just be. Take this time to just be. Selah, pause. Know that the more that you can relax, the more energy that will flow through your body, the more healing that will take place in your body. Savasana can actually build your immune system. Take this time for yourself to totally relax. Just close your eyes and just be. Relax your mind, relax your thoughts, relax your breath, relax your body, relax your toes, the balls of your feet, the arches of your feet, your heels and your ankles, your calves and the backs of your knees. Relax your thighs and your buttocks, your back, your lower back, your middle back, and your upper back with your shoulder blades just melting into your mat. Relax your shoulders. Relax your arms, the insides of your elbows, the insides of your wrists, the palms of your hands, your fingers. Let them just fall as they fall. Let them open and slightly bend. Relax your thumbs. As you relax your thumbs, you should feel your shoulders relax just a little more. Relax your hip bones and your pelvis. Relax your belly, your rib cage, your chest, your neck, your scalp. And relax all the muscles in your face. Relax your forehead, your eyebrows and your eyelids, your cheekbones, your nose and your chin, even your ears and your earlobes. Relax your jaw, your teeth. Unclench your teeth, let them part. Relax your tongue, let it fall away from your lips. Relax your lips and just be. And as you continue to relax, let's move back into those purifying breaths. This time, a deep, deep, deep inhale, so deep your tummy rises high. You'll pause, and then you'll exhale all the air out of your body with a long exhale through the mouth. Inhale, deep, deep, deep. And long exhale. How long and how deep can you inhale? And can your exhale be even longer? And one more purifying breath. Inhaling as deep as you can in through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. And return to normal breath. In through the nose and out through the nose. And then if you're comfortable doing so, roll over onto your side, maybe in a fetal position representing renewal, rebirth, renewal of the mind, the body, and the spirit. And with your eyes closed, open up your heart and let your heart be filled with love. Love of yourself, love of your neighbors, even love of the unlovable. May your hearts be filled with grace, grace in all circumstances. May your hearts be filled with gratitude, even in this time of trial and epidemic and anxiety. Let us have a heart of gratitude, a joyful heart. And may your hearts be filled with peace. Let us pray for peace in our world, in our country, in our state, in our communities, in our own homes. It all starts in our own hearts. May your hearts be filled with peace today. And then if you could slowly take your time, if you wish to do so, to come back into a seated position the way we started our practice. In a comfortable position, with your eyes closed, seated. With our eyes closed, I invite you for any prayer requests to lift up those prayer requests silently. Let us pray for one another. Let us pray for peace. And on the next breath, let us open our eyes as we come to close our practice. Take your arms out long, with your palms up. Inhale to float the hands up. Exhale, hands over heart center. Namaste, peace be with you. I hope you feel renewed and restored. Thank you for coming to our practice today.
Well, thanks everyone. I know we had people joining us from all over the United States. We're grateful that you could be with us today. Thank Karen for her excellent work. I know that you are from your living rooms. And we did post a little PayPal link in the feed. The ministries of our churches continue to go on with food pantries and recovery ministries and all the things. Even in the midst of this pandemic, we continue to do those things, and we would greatly appreciate any support you could give. So we'll be doing this regularly. We just thank you for joining us today and hope to see you again next time at Digital Yoga Church. Thank you for taking time to pause and to breathe and to be still and know that He is God. Amen. Bye, everybody.